Does anybody out there want to talk about the fact that Bob Myers doesn't have a contract for next year?
How did you? It knocked me down.
Is that surprising to anybody? Does that mean anything?
I was going to text him.
Anything? Is it nothing?
I did good, right?
What?
When I heard the report from Woj, I was going to text him, Bob. But I dropped it. That ain't my lane. It was shocking.
So you're not a journalist?
No, I'm a radio host.
Nice job, Goo.
No, that's shocking. But you know what it tells me?
It's surprising,
He's got children.
Right?
We talk about the kids.
Mm-hmm.
So
Who?
maybe
Joe Lacob?
No, Bob.
Oh, Bob has children.
So Bob is he's the reason this is where it's at.
You think?
This dude's a made man.
Okay, so there's nothing to see here.
Oh, no, there's more than something to see here, but it's I'm coming from a Bob perspective. I know you always tell me, Goo, you don't know the business.
So according to the way you look at it, maybe a year ago, Bob had a year and a half left of his deal, and Joe said,
I'm ready. Let's talk.
Let's
get her done.
What do you think about a little extension? Little extension?
Yeah.
Bob goes, you know what? Let's just sit tight.
That's how not I'm going somewhere else.
Why would he
I need
want
to speak
tight?
to the missus.
About what?
I'm away from the family a little too much. That's the only thing
But he's already talked about. Don't you think Bob Myers and his wife, have already talked about how long you want to keep doing this? Right.
And maybe that conversation is ongoing.
Yeah. So I think.
Because he's done everything.
So if I'm Bob Myers.
All right, where are you getting at then?
I'll tell you what I'm getting at. If I'm Bob Myers and I don't want this to be my last year.
Well, then red alert.
Why wouldn't I have signed an extension last year? And just say, you know what, I'll sign a 2-3 year extension. But Joe, if it's not outside the realm of possibility, I could walk away because I got some other time.
Okay, which we hope not.
Why wouldn't he do that rather than let's just sit tight and no, I get it. He won't get paid if he resigns, but
well, I'll tell you what, if you're right, Steiny, then there's a red siren.
I don't know.
When you
I keep coming back to two
Stephen
things.
A. and Wilbon, they were even like perplexed. Like him report, it was like, that's
I'll tell
odd.
You what, I'm going to try to find out, or at least get a rough number or percentage of general managers in the NBA who are right now working without a contract for next year. How many of the 30 general managers are working without a contract for next year? My guess would be a handful?
Xfinity Mobile text line, I told you, McNair, he just started his job in SAC.
Well, McNair's got to have.
Right. I'm looking it up, but Pelinka?
I mean, Pelinka just got an extension, I believe.
I don't know how.
Who's the Clippers guy? What's his name? The Lawrence Frank? I don't know what Lawrence Frank's situation is. But James Johnson?
Yeah,
James Johnson James Jones in Phoenix. He just got an extension the last year or two.
So this is odd for a made man, a successful GM.
I think. It's a little strange.
The one example that Woj referenced in his article was Masai Ujiri, with Toronto. His deal came down to the final months in 2021, even after he'd won a championship. So this is kind of a new but unique situation.
But remember, he was sought after. Like there was a lot of rumblings that a lot of other teams wanted him. I'm not saying Bob doesn't have that. Yeah. I don't know what Bob has or doesn't have. But
I
think it's more the exception as a rule. What?
I had Bob as a lifer.
Like you had Bob, the GM of the Warriors, in 2041.
Well, no, until he wants to step away. Like you went from Jordan Bell to this. You know what I'm saying? Like this is home, and you're from here. I'm just like, and he may be a lifer, Steiny. It was just odd when this news came out.
He's not a lifer.
So different challenge.
Think Bob Myers will not be the general manager of the Warriors I would. Just to be totally safe, I would make it longer than I thought. But, he's not going to be the GM, or he's not going to be the president of basketball operations and general manager in 2030.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
And can I share?
I think it'll be. I think it'll be one of the Lacob.
I was just going there, and I was going if he stepped away, I just immediately thought of Kirk Lacob. And I've thought about life and what we want to do in regard to legacy. You want to leave stuff to your kids? Left my son a Cadillac with a bad engine. But you know what I mean? That didn't bother me, Steiny, but I was like, man, that could be, here go the keys.
Yeah. Let's go to Brian in Palo Alto. Haven't heard from Brian in a while. Hey, Brian.
BPA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
What's
Dynamite.
up, baby?
Hey, that's the last straw for Farhan for me. Right? That's completely unacceptable coming from the general manager. And first off, yes, homelessness is an issue in California. In California, not just San Francisco, but in Los Angeles and San Diego, they have major homeless issues. And when the GM is going to publicly come out and say, this place sucks, no one wants to come here, guess what? No one's coming here. And if it was such a problem, the Warriors wouldn't have 4 titles in 8 years. The 49ers have been 2-3 of the last NFC title games, and it's a destination. Sorry, man. You can't sell it is the problem. And so he's not a fit here. He needs to probably go to a super small market, like the Pirates would be a good place to start, right? Where he can do his dumpster diving gig on a $30 million payroll.
Right.
So that's it.
So Brian, I got a question for you. So you're ready to want to fire Farhan Zaidi, who's got a 217 and 167 record since he lost that anchor Bruce Bochy?
I would want to look 217 and 167. That's his record.
Yeah. The first year was Bochy. He was still here.
I would say congrats on the 107 win fluke.
How do you do in free agency? Yeah.
Yeah, this is an 81 win team again that he's putting together, and great job, Buster Posey, Crawford having a career year, Belt having sort of a reemergence that year. But how long are you gonna get tired? You're gonna ride that season when clearly it was an outlier. I mean, the year before and the year after, I think, are more indicative of what you have. And you can't say what he said.
Yeah, hey Brian, that's the bottom line.
And you know what? I appreciate you, Steiny. You said that too. When I said you could tell your neighbor that, your best friend, your spouse. You can't say that.
Well,
and he said it. There's got to be some ramifications.
Let me ask you this.
And Correa ain't going to take this away from me. I'll hang on this forever. Correa? That's like the man coming home late. Hey, I got paid. Here's the check. Nah, you came home late. What you been doing? We got to talk. You said some stuff. I just don't think there's no coming back from.
See, I think, okay, so just follow me here.
Twitter.
What if because I think sometimes this is the way it goes. You're talking to Farhan, and he said, we got money to spend.
That happened.
There's no doubt we got money to spend. Okay.
Let's go.
So now you have money to spend, and they ask you about your free agents, and you're like, we got to get somebody. Got to get somebody. It's do or die. It's like we have to get somebody. We know that. We're the Giants. This, that, and the other thing. We have to get somebody. And you're not able to get anybody. And so you say, I know it's a bottom line business. And I failed. Somebody at some point is going to ask you, hey, why do you think? How come you think? Well, listen, no excuses. I got no excuses. I have to get it done. I did not get it done. I didn't get it done. But it is kind of a tricky market.
Well,
it is kind of a tricky market. As long as you're asking, I bear all responsibility. I take all accountability. But, it's a tough place. Yeah, a couple free agents over the last few years have said they don't want to be in the city.
And I don't know why they said no. That's how I would have went.
Well, I know.
You got to believe in your product.
I'm playing devil's advocate here. Trust me.
Bob Myers would have finessed this to the he would have did just what you said. How are you going to sell something that I believe you don't believe where you're at?
Well, let's do it this way.
Yeah.
Here's something Bob Myers believes. And he said it on our show. Players don't come for GMs. They don't come for the GM.
That was great.
Okay, so who's to say had Bob Myers swung and missed just like Farhan Zaidi that he wouldn't have just said that?
Because I don't believe he believes that. And We'll find out when he inks this new deal.
I mean, I'm just saying Bob Myers said, Kevin Durant didn't come here because of me. He didn't come here because of me. He came here because of Steph Curry.
Right.
So I could have just been a robot. He would have come here because we got Steph Curry.
But when you get into the politics side.
So Farhan's basically saying, I can't. Nobody's coming here because of me. And nobody's not coming because of me.
Dude, that was an F.
No doubt.
He passed the buck.
Oh, he passed it all right.
And what's
That's like one of those. He got 2 assists.
He stepped in it. That's a Jeff Garcia. Hey, real quick.
Yeah.
We got some real stuff from the Xfinity mobile text line. One real question I want to ask you. First one, 415 said, Brian in Palo Alto makes Steiny look like an optimist. That's one. 2, has Bob Myers scrubbed his social of the Warriors? And 3, Bob being a former agent, I'm sure he represents himself.
No chance. There's no chance.
That was like, I didn't know. No chance, Steiny.
No way.
He's got somebody.
No way.
Wow. That was a great question. 510.
Because no lawyer would not have a lawyer if they were,
no lawyer.
if they were involved in a trial.
Yeah.